What is up, guys? We are back again. We are in the top 17 of 2017. I'm going to be skipping my albums that I wish I had from this year, this video, hoping it goes a little bit faster. Plus, I think I have everything I want. Starting with number 17, Vince Staples with Big Fish Theory. I've talked about Vince a little bit with his Summertime '06 debut. This is his third or fourth full length on Island Def Jam. It is very strange. It's not your normal Vince hip-hop album, at least up to that point. It has a lot of beats that you really wouldn't normally hear unless it's maybe a Danny Brown album. They're a little bit weird. They've got a couple spots where the drums are a little bit off point as far as the melody and the drums go. The melodies themselves are kind of strange. The instruments they use, a couple songs have like a synth pop type of feel to it. It is a good record. It's not one of my favorites, but for the quality that he produces, the words that he is saying are actually very, very good, and they're very interesting, and the stories he's telling make you, or I guess keep you invested in what he's saying. But it could have been better. I guess for an experimental hip hop record, I think Vince did a relatively good job. So 17 is Vince Staples' Big Fish Theory. 16, Heavy Metal Kings with Black God, White Devil. I also talked about Heavy Metal Kings, I believe, in 2012 with their debut self-titled record. This is their sophomore album. Heavy Metal Kings consists of Vinnie Paz, known as something the Hologram from his Jedi Mind Tricks days, and then Ill Bill is also a part of the group. It seems like Gore-Tex is featured quite a bit, so I almost wonder if he's like a third unofficial member. If you look at this track listing, I mean, Gore-Tex pops up quite often. I actually do not enjoy this as much as their debut. I feel like with their debut album, they had a lot of inspiration. They were very excited to do it. With this, it kind of just seems like it's the next progression, but they didn't quite progress as far as they could have. It is still a very good record. It's still Vinny, so you're still going to have some really good bars. He's still going to have these 16-bar verses where every single last 2 or 3 lines rhyme, which is something that I've never heard from anybody else. You're still going to have your really strange Ill Bill flows that seem like they don't quite match up with the beat, but it works. And you're still going to have them talking about heavy metal, Satan, conspiracy theories, the government, all of that jazz. Good record. Check it out. Heavy Metal Kings, Black God, White Devil. Number 15, we've got Action Bronson with Blue Chip 7000. This is his sophomore commercial full-length album. Not as good as Mr. Wonderful. I love Mr. Wonderful still to this day. This does not have those songs that kind of pop when you think about the album. As far as like with Mr. Wonderful, you have Baby Blue, you've got Acting Crazy, Easy Rider. I mean, that album is full of those songs. This doesn't have those standout songs. It's just a really good album with some really good tracks. Nothing to write home about. Still a fantastic record. Action Bronson, Blue Chip 7000. 14. Skip backwards. Grieves with Running Wild. I talked about Grieves quite often, I think. I've liked a lot of his albums. This is no different. This is a fantastic record. A lot more positivity to this. Couple shit talk songs that you wouldn't really expect from a Rhymesayers album or a Rhymesayers artist. The song Boop Bop Da Willy Willy, I'm very disappointed in. That was, I believe, his second single. His first single was RX, which is one of my favorite songs of the year. And it has this amazing chorus. I mean, it's what you would think it's about. It's about the pharmaceutical industry. Fantastic album, fantastic song. Boop Bop Da Willy Willy seems like it's him trying to make a song where he is talking shit and showing his bar capabilities, and it's not something that he should do. It doesn't quite work well with his voice, with what he normally writes about. This is still a really good album with some really good songs. The song Guts on here is very imaginative. The beat is a mind-bending, mind-expanding beat. Fantastic. Yeah, Grieves-Running Wild, number 14. Number 13, we've got a really quick EP from Earl Sweatshirt. This is Sollace. This is not the official. This is another one of those where I ordered it on eBay, and this is what they sent me, and whatever. I believe this is like 13 or 14 minutes. All one song, but broke up into like 5 parts. And it is just fantastic, Earl. Really good EP. My only issue with this is that it is all one song. There's not a whole lot as far as breakdowns go. You can feel the beat shift and you can hear when the new track comes on, but it doesn't quite feel like a completed EP. It almost just seems like he should have made a 13-minute song, threw it on an album, which would have been half of the album he released after this. So, I mean, he could have pulled it off. Still a good EP. Earl Sweatshirt-Sollace. Number 12, a new group that I'm really starting to fall in love with. This is Armand Hammer with Rome. Armand Hammer is a hip-hop duo out of New York, I believe, consisting of Billy Woods and Elucid. Billy Woods is becoming one of my favorite rappers. You're going to see him popping up a lot coming up here in these next few videos. They are very experimental. The beats don't always make sense. They're definitely a group where you're going to have to sit down and read their lyrics because their accent, I don't know if I want to say their accents, but the way they say their words is very heavy. And so it doesn't always come clearly. Plus, on top of that, what they're talking about is very complex. Double, triple, almost sometimes quadruple entendres, where if you're not reading along, you're almost going to miss it. Billy Woods is one of those rappers where I feel like I could just sit down and read his music, and I would enjoy it just as much as I do hearing it, especially considering sometimes the beats don't quite match up very well. There's a killer Quelly Chris feature on the song Microdose on here. Good record. I'm trying to get more of their stuff. This is the only album I have by them. I'm trying to change that. Yeah, Armand Hammer-Rome at number 12. Number 11, the third full-length album from Big K.R.I.T. This is Forever is a Mighty Long Time. I've talked about Big K.R.I.T. a lot. He's from Mississippi. I think I said Georgia in one of my videos. He's not. He's from Mississippi. This is actually a double album. Runs like hour and a half, 2 hours. It's a very long album. The first half consists of a lot of what you would expect from a southern hip-hop artist. The second half of the album is kind of on a more serious tone. One guy, I can't think what is Justin Scott, is featured very heavily on the second half of this album. It's really good. It's not my favorite. I'm still in love with Live from the Underground. This is probably number 2. I like this more than Cadillactica. Great album. Check it out if you have time. Again, it's almost 2 hours. It is not a quick album. It is not something you can sit down and listen to very fast. But if you like southern hip-hop, if you like that kind of trap vibe, if you like a really interesting flow, Big K.R.I.T. is really good at flipping his words. Check this out. Big K.R.I.T. Forever is a Mighty Long Time. Number 10. We're in the top 10. Number 10. Vic Mensa with the Autobiography. Very little known dude. I've been following him for a while, especially after he released his Orange Soda song on that mixtape. I really liked that, so I've been listening to him. And then when I heard about this, I bought it. Instantly blown away. Fantastic album. One of my favorite debuts ever, I think, honestly. Fantastic. There's a lot to love, but there's also a couple tracks that I'm kind of struggle with. The first 2 or 3 songs are all trap bangers. Memories on 47th Street, Rolling Like a Stoner. I guess Didn't I Say I Didn't isn't necessarily a trap banger, but Memories on 47th Street, Rolling Like a Stoner, they are very cool songs. They've got a lot of trap feel to them. After that, it turns into Homewrecker, which actually features Weezer, which sounds weird, but Vic Mensa is known to be just as much into rock and roll as he is into hip-hop, so it makes sense for him. The actual song does not. I'm not a fan of that song. After that, the songs start just kind of turning a little bit more difficult. There is the track Heaven on Earth, one of my favorite songs of the year. It's essentially the story of one of his buddies dies, and so The first verse is him writing a letter to his buddy. The second one is the reply from his buddy. And then the third one is actually the story of the guy that killed his buddy. Very heartfelt, very interesting. The story is really, really good. Not sure how true it is. A lot of hip hop, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, he can't hear his buddy in heaven's response. But it's very heartfelt. The message gets across. It's a really, really good song. The Dream is featured on it, and his voice is magnificent on top of this beat. Really good album. Number 9, this is actually almost a brand new album. I just got it a couple days ago, reviewed it, and literally redid my list to make this fit in here. Number 9 is Open Mike Eagle, Brick Body Kid Still Daydream. Open Mike Eagle is a Chicago rapper signed to Mellow Music Group. I don't know much more about him. A little experimental, very similar to Billy Woods or Quelly Chris, Earl Sweatshirt. He's one of those guys that you kind of have to read his lyrics because a lot of what he's talking about is not placed on the table in front of you. It's under sections and sections and sections of words, and you have to dig. One thing that bugs me about this album, he sings a lot, which doesn't necessarily bug me, I guess, because he has a really soulful voice. He's really putting his heart into it, and it sounds good on top of the beats. The issue is the beats are more meant to rap on top of. They don't feel like R&B beats, and he's trying to lay like an R&B smoothness on top of it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My favorite song is actually Legendary Iron Hood, the very first track. He makes a lot of really cool Marvel, X-Men metaphors talking about his brother and trying to get away from the hood. But he doesn't say that. Again, it's all X-Men, Marvel talking, and it's very interesting. He's a fantastic lyricist. I've been wanting to listen to him for a while, and I finally got an album, and I am not disappointed. It is fantastic, especially that album cover is one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the year. There's a lot to be desired, I guess you could say. It's a little too experimental for me, but it is still fantastic. Definitely give it a listen if you're into underground hip-hop and you like reading your stuff and not just listening to it and don't really care what they're saying. If you like lyricists, Open Mike Eagle is definitely a must. Number 8, Hopsin with No Shame. This is his newest album, I believe his 5th full-length. And this is actually one of my least favorites. This falls towards the bottom. There's a lot of really cool stuff incorporated into it, like his son, who he cannot see because his son is in Australia. But there's also some stuff that just is bad taste or more of Hopsin. Oh, my last album was horrible. This one I'm putting my heart into. And then the next album he's going to say, that last album sucked. I'm putting my heart into this one, just like he says on every album. A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. He's got a song on here called, let me find it, Happy Ending, which is literally about a Chinese massage with a happy ending. He has kind of a Asian accent he tries over the chorus. I know he's trying to come off humorous. It just seems bad taste. It doesn't quite come across right. The first time I listened to it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of silly. It doesn't really surprise me. It's another Hopsin song. As I've listened to it since then, it just comes off a little bit more offensive, and I can't quite wrap my finger around why he decided to do this song, especially considering that on this album is also Ill Mind of Hopsin 9, which is all about his anger towards his baby mama, his ex-girlfriend, who got him kicked out of Australia, and so he can't see his son, and he's not even sure if it's his son, blah, 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 blah. It's a fantastic song. A lot of emotion is put into it. He's essentially rapping to his son, saying, this is why I'm not there. Don't think I'm another one of those guys. So the happy ending song really doesn't match up with a lot of the other tracks on here. It is a good album. It is worth a listen. Hopsin, No Shame at number 8. Number 7 is a little-known artist. I like to think that not a lot of people know about him, even though he signed to Warner Bros. Records, which is one of the most famous record labels that there is. But it seems like whenever I bring him up, nobody knows who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about, which is really sad because he is fantastic. I am talking about Fora, Phora, and this is Yours Truly Forever. I believe it's his debut commercial release. And it is fantastic. Listening to Fora's songs and his story and what he's been through is so not only heartbreaking, but it's so inspiring. He's been shot multiple times. He's been stabbed multiple times. He grew up in California, I believe in one of the LA sections. And it's just, the dude has been through a lot of shit. And it's really cool to see him come through and actually put it down on wax and talk about it, because not a lot of people do. I will say this is a very repetitive album. The first 2 songs are very good. They're very heartfelt. The first one's about God and essentially saying, sometimes I curse at you and I ask you why, and it doesn't even make sense to me, which I think we've all been there. But after that, a lot of the songs are just about, oh, my girlfriend dumped me, I fucking hate her. My girlfriend dumped me, I fucking miss her. My girlfriend dumped me, I wish she would come back to me, blah, 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 blah. There is one exception, and that is Sinner Part 2. Now, if you've never listened to Sinner by Fora, pause this, stop this, I don't care. Go listen to Sinner by Fora. It is one of, if not my favorite honest tracks with emotionality to it I think I've ever heard. His flow is on point. The beat has this really cool reversed feeling to it. And he just goes in, and you can hear the emotion on his voice when he's talking, and it's very, very, very sad, but it's a very good track. Sinner Part 2 is on this, which is no different than the first one. I actually might enjoy Sinner Part 2 a little bit better. The way he comes in, you just hear the beat, and again, it's another one of those reversed beats, and then he just, like, it just jumps in on it, and you don't expect it, and it sounds so good. I fucking love that song. Fora, yours truly forever. Sorry, hold on one second, I'm making a note. Okay, sorry. Number 6. This is that guy I was talking about, Billy Woods. This is Terror. No, this isn't. No, this is Known Unknowns. Did I grab the wrong one? No, this is Known Unknowns. He has 2 different covers for Known Unknowns, which is kind of confusing. Yeah, Billy Woods, Known Unknowns. Billy Woods, again, is a rapper out of New York. He is quickly becoming my favorite. I heard about him when Earl was talking about him, when he was talking in the interview he does with his mom. That's when I first heard about him. He released this really fucking good album with Kenny Siegel, who's a producer out of New York, called Hiding Places. The first song, SpongeBob, is phenomenal. It's another one of those double, triple entendres. You have to read the lyrics. You will miss everything he is saying. All of his albums are no different. He is very interesting. What he says is very interesting. This is probably my 2nd or 3rd favorite full-length from him, and I have more coming, so that will probably change, but might not. Fantastic record. If you're a fan of underground hip-hop, if you're a fan of listening, not only listening, but reading, investigating, discovering more, Billy Woods is definitely somebody you need to go listen to. He's not going to be for everybody. The beats are very off-kilter. They don't make sense. The melody and the drums don't always match up, and his rapping is very monotonous and slow. He's not one of those guys that's going to flip his words and keep you interested in how he's saying stuff. It's all about what he's saying. So it's slightly monotonous. It's very slow sometimes. But if you can push through it, you will come up with so many gems. I love Billy Woods. Number 5, the return of Wu-Tang with The Saga Continues. I loved this fucking record. I didn't even know it was happening. Obviously, I assume they went by Wu-Tang instead of Wu-Tang Clan because they don't have ODB with them. Fantastic. The one thing about this album is Method Man really shines through. Obviously, Raekwon is always going to have great bars. Ghostface Killah is always going to come through. But the way Method Man says the things, how he says it, the way he's flipping his words and using wordplay, Method Man really kills this album. This could have been an entire album just of Method Man, and I would not have hated it or loved it anymore. The nice thing is the producing is fantastic. I believe Mathematic does a lot of it. Obviously, the RZA is still there. Really good record. Wu-Tang, The Saga Continues. Number 4, this is probably my surprise album of the year. I did not think I would enjoy this as much as I did. This is Brother Ali, All the Beauty in This Whole Life. Brother Ali is a rapper from... I believe he's from the Midwest. I could be wrong. Yeah, fantastic. This whole record is fantastic. A lot of feeling to it, a lot of emotions. He's got this song called Dear Black Sun, which is just heartbreaking, talking about, listen, you're going to go through life and you're going to have struggles because of the color of your skin. Brother Ali's a Muslim. I know that seems out of place, but his religion really comes through in his records, and he really talks about God, Allah, everything as far as his belief system a lot through this record. So it is good to know. Surprised, I did not think I'm a fan of Brother Ali. I had Morning in America Dreaming in Color on one of my videos, but this is my favorite that I've heard from him. It does not disappoint. It is a fantastic record. Top 3. We're going to start moving a little bit quicker here. Well, not too quick, because, I mean, these are the best. Number 3 is Tyler, the Creator, with Scumfuck Flower Boy. Yes, I am not just saying that. It is Scumfuck Flower Boy. And I always just refer to it as Flower Boy, and a lot of people do, mainly because Scumfuck Flower Boy just is a lot to say in public around people sometimes. But I say this because the album title matches the music to a T so perfectly that there's nothing else that he could have called this. It's literally him talking about how he feels. He feels like a scumfuck, and yet he feels like he's blooming like a flower boy. And the whole record is fantastic. I did not expect this. I believe this is his 4th full length. And with the previous album before this, which was Cherry Bomb, which was one of my least favorite albums of the year, horrible, way too experimental, almost sounded like he was trying to make a punk rock record, but he still has like Lil Wayne and Kanye. Nothing made sense about Cherry Bomb. He came through with one of my favorite records of 2017. Very personal, a lot of emotion behind it. He actually comes out of the closet on this record, not quite as much as his next one, but he does come out. You will hear that in it. And it shocked the nation. Everybody was surprised. Eminem was talking shit about it. But I think it was genius the way he did it. You've still got your Tyler humor in the middle here. You've still got some of the humorous things he says and the way he says them. But the nice thing is it's not in an immature way. He's actually saying them in a positive way and keeping you interested and entertained without just kind of saying, why do you fucking need to say that? So fantastic. He kills this fucking record. Scumfuck Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. Number 2, Joey Badass, All American Badass. This is his sophomore full length, and I was happily surprised with how good this album turned out. Almost, if not a perfect album, in my opinion. Every song is fantastic. I do not like it as much as Before the Money, but it is still a fantastic album. Of course, it's crazy because it's All American Badass with the KKK, and it's fucking thought-provoking. But it is really, really good. The beat, Rockabye Baby, is my favorite beat of the year. I'm just going to say it right now, and I'll say it again when I get there. But it is fantastic. Got this really, really hard, but it's still boom bap at the same time. Schoolboy Q comes on it. And he actually has a song, Devastate, on here, which is almost as close as you'll probably hear to Joey Badass doing a pop song. But it works. He kills it. He does a fantastic job with it. This surprised the fuck out of me. I did not think I was going to like it as much as I did. And thank God I did, because I probably would have had to stop listening to Joey. I've had a couple buddies that have came out and said, oh, I wish you would have just made it Before the Money Part 2, where it's still him shit-talking and essentially just showing you how good he can spit. I really like the way he did this. It's very political. It's very thought-provoking. So I think he killed it. Joey Badass. All American Badass at number 2. Number 1, you can guess. The world can guess. People who don't even know what the fuck hip-hop is can guess what my number 1 is. Damn by Kendrick Lamar. Not going to say anything else. Fantastic. Check this out if you haven't. Probably my favorite thing Kendrick's ever done. Just phenomenal. Kills this. I have this on vinyl too. I just had to. It's so good. So yeah, number 1, Damn, Kendrick Lamar. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so I'm not going to say much else, because I do know there's at least one person who watches these videos, Chris, then adds it and listens to it later, and I don't want to ruin this album because this album is so good that you need to go into it with an open mind, not expecting anything, and you will be so happy you did it. Worst album of 2017 goes to Wale. Woo! No, fucking bad. Wale-Shine. I don't know what the fuck he was doing on this record. I'm not even a big Wale fan, but I liked an album about nothing. There's nothing I like. This is bad. Like, it's R&B, but like he's singing now. I don't understand. Not a fan. Check it out at your own risk. Don't blame me when you don't like it. And there's probably some of you that'll fucking love it because you like dumb hip-hop like that. Not that it's dumb. It's dumb in my eyes. That's my opinion. Whatever. Before I go to my awards, I want to give a special shout out to 508-507-2209 by Joyner Lucas. That was never released physically. I do own it digitally, but I don't have it, so I wasn't going to bring it up. But that album is one of my top 5 favorite albums of this year. It probably goes between Brother Ali and Tyler. It's probably number 4. It's that good. It was just never released physically. I didn't feel right putting it on the list. But yeah, Joyner Lucas is on the come up, and this new ADHD album he's about to release sounds like it's going to be fantastic. If you haven't checked out Joyner, I recommend I'm Sorry and Keep It 100 and Ross Carpuchin, I believe is how it's pronounced. Some really good tracks. Awards. Best verse goes to Kendrick Lamar on DNA. Woo! That whole song is just bars after bar after bar. The flow, the way he says it, the way he flips his words, what he's saying, how he's... Everything. DNA was fantastic. Best verse goes to Kendrick. Best hook goes to Grieves for that RX song. You'll hear it, and then you'll understand why. It's almost got a pre-chorus and a hook, and they work so well together that even though it's almost like a 16 to 36 or 32 bar hook, you don't even notice it's that long because it's just so smooth. And his singing isn't always my favorite, but he does it so well on that song that I don't even mind. Best beat, as I said before, goes to Rockabye Baby on All American Badass by Joey Badass. That beat is killer. They kill it. Best song is actually a tie for Center Part 2 by Fora and Keep It 100 by Joyner Lucas. Keep It 100 is mainly because of the music video. It's mainly the visuals. Joyner is known to have these very, very intricate, beautiful music videos. Keep It 100 is my favorite. It's a story about the path of a $100 bill and what it goes through. And it's so interesting to watch, and I love it. And then Center Part 2 I talked about. Still to this day, I'll hear that song, and my throat, I'll just get a little lump in my throat still, because you can hear him. I mean, halfway through, he's screaming on the mic, trying not to cry, essentially, because his voice is breaking up so bad. It's a fantastic song. Fantastic. Best artwork actually will probably go to Open Mike Eagle for Brick Body Kid Still Daydream. As I showed you, let me see if I can find it here quick. It literally is talking about the Chicago projects that he grew up in and how they tore them down. And this album cover just has so much meaning. There's so many little intricate things about it. And the original album cover was going to be Scumfuck Flower Boy by Tyler. But when I saw this album cover, I mean, this is the obvious choice. Even the back cover is just very, very interesting. So, Open Mike Eagle, best artwork. Best feature, as I said, goes to Quelly Chris on Microdose off of Rome by Armand Hammer. So yeah, that's my list. I hope you guys liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. But in the comments, tell me why you didn't like it. Can't fix shit if you guys won't tell me what not to fix. Leave me your list in the comments. I would love to compare lists and see what you guys disagree or agree with. Scream at me. Don't scream at me. Be nice. Be mean. I don't fucking care. Just talk to me about it. Let me know what you guys think. If there's albums from 2017 that I need to hear, I know I didn't do that part in this video, but we're almost at 30 minutes. If there's albums I need to hear from 2017, tell me in the comments. I have been buying hip-hop albums like crazy lately. I think I've got like another 6 on the way that you probably won't even know about unless I do a hip-hop collection video, which probably isn't a bad idea because I have more hip-hop than I do black metal. And if you've seen my black metal collection videos, I have a lot of black metal CDs. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I will be back next time with the top 18 of 2018. Thanks.